Good. So you got to talk to Lucy, which is good.
Yes, yeah, that was very nice. Yeah, yeah, really interesting. All the things she's doing. That's great. Yeah. Well, okay. So, folks, I have with me today Chief Don Stevens from the Nulhegan branch of the Abenaki tribe, and I'm very grateful for you being with me today, Chief.
Quick way. Hello.
Yeah, great, thank you. So, please, did I get that right? Please tell me. Please tell us about your role as chief and a little bit about the Abenaki people in Vermont and what different kind of branches there are.
Yeah, basically, I'm the chief of the Nulhegan Band of the Coosuk Abenaki Nation. It's a big, long word. But basically, our tribe is primarily in the Northeast Kingdom, but we do have a presence all over Vermont and New England, and throughout the country, we have citizens. We're one of the largest, if not the largest tribe in Vermont. I think we're comparable to Missisquoi. And they're in Franklin County, like Alburgh, Grand Isle area. Then there's El New, which is like in the Windham County area, small tribe. And then the Coosuk or the Coos Meadows is primarily just Newberry and Haverhill, Orange County, basically. So we kind of cover Northeast Kingdom, kind of swings down through into Chittenden, down into Addison, sort of. But we all help each other.
That's good. That's good. Great. So what kind of process did you have to go through to become chief? How does that work?
Well, different tribes have different processes. Some are hereditary, like when Homer was up in Missisquoi, April was automatically the chief, and so on and so forth. But in Nulhegan and most of the other tribes were elected. So if you don't have the support of your people, obviously, then you're not really an effective leader. So basically, the tribal council elects the position of chief based on the will of the citizens. So it's sort of set up almost like, the legislators represent their constituents and work on behalf of them, and then they, and I'm kind of in a role almost like a lieutenant governor where I have say, but I have no vote unless there's a tie, and then I get to weigh in. Other than that, I'm just a facilitator.
That is very much like the lieutenant governor.
so that's sort of the role, and that's why when they say Nulhegan Band, we're made up of family bands, because back in the traditional days, you'd be made up of families who would travel from place to place, and those families would come together to talk about resources, where to live, disputes or anything else. And basically under the European structure, we had to come together as a tribe in order to be recognized. So those families make up the council who make up the tribe. So it's basically a little quick history lesson.
That's great. Thank you. Excuse me. And I know that there are a variety of different kind of programs sort of going on. I got a chance to speak to Lucy Neal to hear about some school programs, but are there other things that that you can share with us that are going on to sort of preserve the culture?
Yeah, basically as chief, I'm in the role of being kind of the face of the tribe, sort of. I carry out the will of the council, and I report back to them. So part of my role is to continuously increase not only the traditions, culture, and language, as you may know, but it's kind of being that liaison between the state, local, and federal governments and our tribe. So one of the things I've been working on for a lot of years, of course, I helped with the recognition process back in 2011, and then we acquired land in Barton, Vermont, which is our headquarters, and moved on to, working with the federal government to get our eagle feathers. And recently, within the last several years, I've been working on partnering with not only the state of Vermont, but also partnering with corporations and individuals to access land. So basically, even though we don't own it, but we can access it to gather medicines, gather food, hunt, fish. So basically doing the same thing our ancestors did, but it working in partnership with landowners. And if you go to our website under partnerships, you'll see all the people that we've partnered with. Also in conjunction with that is working on food sovereignty. So I've partnered with Sterling College, Middlebury College, UVM, and Shelburne Farms to help grow our foods. And then we distribute that to our citizens, and we also save the seeds for our seed banks. This year we expanded to NOFA. So we have 13 commercial and private owner farms that basically are doing the growing as well. So we're continuously trying to find ways to feed our elders with nutritious food, and also not having them have to worry about paying either a medical bill or a fuel bill because they can't afford food. So it's in partnership with trying to get, because we're very vulnerable. Because a lot of us have diabetes and medical issues because we can't process foods as well. So anyway, so getting back to those natural food sources are helping, especially with the COVID. And the other program really we're working on is the language program that we have through Middlebury College to keep our language from going extinct. And of course, you know, the bills we're working on, which is hunting and fishing rights and the place names that are going through now, the process.
Yes, great. Yeah. Yes. So, well, I was honored to be part of the process of getting Indigenous Peoples Day recognized last year permanently. And then, yeah, we had two bills. One about making hunting and fishing licenses available at no cost to Abenaki people. And I'm sorry, what's the other bill?
Well, there's the place names, which is H880, which went through the House and now heading to the Senate in August. So basically, when they change out signs at state parks, they would also include the name of it in Abenaki. So you would, it's not changing the name, it's just adding ours to it. So it's kind of to keep us visible. We also have, you know, some other things that are in the works, like the apology. I think that's JRH7 that was going through the House until COVID hit. UVM has apologized for the eugenics program, and the state was looking at that as well. That kind of stalled when the COVID hit, so I'm not sure where that's going. And there's a taxation bill, like to exempt our tribal lands from taxation. There's only like 4 properties that it would affect. It's not like it's a huge amount, but every little thing helps. And I just wanted to say we support all people who support us, and we work with all people who work with us, like yourself and other people, other legislators. And, you know, it's about partnerships, you know.
Absolutely. Yeah. Thank you. Well, yes. Yeah, we do need to work together, and it's so important. Also, I think the ethnic studies bill that we passed, that was something that I was particularly interested in, because I sit on Senate Education, but I hope that that helps to inform our school children about the contributions of Indigenous peoples and the benefits of having a diverse population. Were you involved in that?
Yeah, I have my hands in a lot of the things that deal with Native issues. So that was H.9, the ethnic study bill, which did pass, but it created a council or a panel of Indigenous and people of color and other groups to come up with recommendations to present to the legislators to then offer to the school systems to provide studies through the K through 12 system. So I think where we're at right now, the ethics bill that created that commission to make the recommendations is ongoing. I think it's got a 3-year reporting date to get back to the legislators on recommendations. I think it includes the Department of Education and the State Board of Education. So, I mean, that's in the process. So I'm hoping that will achieve education, because as you know, without education, there's ignorance left in the gap, and people usually are afraid of things they don't understand. So if we can educate people on that we're still here and that the culture is still alive and that we have a lot to offer, I think it will really help with the the changes that are happening now in social reform, social justice reforms. And also we're kind of cool people, you know, I mean, people could, we're not dominion over things, we're stewards of. So, I mean, some of those mindsets of getting our kids back to the land and food sources, other than, you know, these video games that are violent and other things, that if we can get them back to nature, then people might care more about the environment. Because if you're not connected to it, then it's somebody else's problem and you may not care about it. If we can get people back to their food sources and back to the land, hopefully they will care about it a little more and it becomes part of their issue instead of somebody else's. So
well said. I could not improve upon that. So I think I'll close this off there. Thank you so much, Chief, for speaking with me.
okay. Oli Bumkani. That means travel or paddle well. Since you're not in the canoe, we'll say travel well.
Great. Thank you. Thank you.
All right. Adio.
Take care. Okay. Oh.